And voting has begun in the 5 state assembly elections today. Voting is taking place in 40 seats in Mizoram in a single phase and 20 key seats in Chhattisgarh in the first phase of the Chhattisgarh election. This officially marks the beginning of an exercise that has been billed as the virtual semi-final before the general elections. Chhattisgarh, which like I said is going to have elections in 2 phases, is polling in the first phase today, which is 20 assembly seats. Mizoram, of course, is seeing a single phase election, as are all of the other states of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana that will be voting through the course of this month. So all 40 seats in Mizoram are seeing polling as we speak. But it's crucial in Chhattisgarh because 12 assembly seats of the Naxal-hit Bastar division are among the 20 constituencies where voting is taking place. Special arrangements, of course, have been made to ensure law and order situation is maintained. About 60,000 security personnel have been deployed for the conduct of these polls in the sensitive zone. It is expected to be a close contest between the Congress and the BJP, as both parties are trying to win the support of tribal voters in the state. The Grand Old Party, the Congress, is of course banking on its legacy of welfare schemes in support of for tribal rights, while the BJP is focusing on development and infrastructure. In 2018, the Congress won 17 of the 20 seats, while the BJP had won 2. That's, of course, talking about this particular phase. The second phase of voting in Chhattisgarh is going to take place on the 17th of November. Votes, of course, for all 5 states will be counted on the 3rd of December. Now, remember, Chhattisgarh has already seen a fair bit of, like I said, these are sensitive zones. There was an IED blast. It was reported from Sukma this morning. One CRPF Jawan has been injured in the blast and no other casualties, thankfully, have been reported. Polling across the sensitive zones in Chhattisgarh, for the benefit of our viewers, will be taking place from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, remember, polling usually continues till about 6 p.m. in the evening, but will end at 3 p.m. across the Maoist hit zone. In Mizoram, the contest is between the ruling Mizo National Front and the Zoram People's Movement, the ZPM, the Congress and, of course, the BJP, with the Aadmi party that has also joined the race this time around. And joining us for more on what's happening in Mizoram, Ratnadeep Chaudhary joins us from Ground Zero. Ratnadeep, it's been quite a morning, hasn't it, with the Chief Minister, Lal Thanhawla, actually appearing to cast his vote at 7 a.m. sharp. And at the same time, it was a bit of a missed situation because the EVM where he was casting his vote malfunctioned. So he went back and then he came back to cast his vote. Now, he's the Chief Minister. And, you know, I don't know if that luxury is really extended to other people. I don't know how many people have faced such an issue and whether they've actually had the chance to come back around and cast a successful vote the second time around. But that aside, get us a sense of where you are, what's happening, what is the voter sentiment, what are people at the polling stations saying. Let's hear from them as well.
That's right. In fact, Chief Minister Zoram Thanhawla actually came right at the beginning, before 7 a.m. and stood in the queue. He was the first man and he wanted to vote cast the first vote, but he was not fortunate enough to do that. The EVM malfunctioned and then he went out. He went to other polling booths in his constituencies and came back at around 9:30 to cast his vote. In fact, the polling process is continuing in a rather slow pace, although since morning there have been large turnout, and in fact at 11 a.m. the official figure that we got from the Election Commission of India is that about 26% polls have been casted. In fact, we can show here now 5-time former Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Lal Thanhawla, has come to cast his vote. Sir, you have come to cast your vote. You were 5-time Chief Minister, yes. And now your party, the Congress, in the last election did not do well, but now this time you have a new leader, you have some new faces. How do you see this election, given the fact that apart from MNF, you have the ZPM, Zoram People's Movement, also in this fray? So this multi-corner fight, is it going to make difficult for the regional parties, or is there a scope of Congress revival?
Well, for the Congress, there is always scope for growing and winning, because it's an old party, and today what we need is the religious freedom. So, under the Congress, the religious freedom is there, and Today in Mizoram also, we have emerged very strong under the new leadership, and I fully support them. Therefore, we have a very good chance. We have a very good chance of winning.
But how do you see the emergence of ZPM, who talks about a new way of governance?
I say, but the new way of governance, but I don't know what is their old way of governance. Let them tell me.
They're kind of criticizing the way you ruled the state for 5 terms, or Mr. Zoram Thanga had ruled the state for 3 terms.
I have nothing to say about Mizoram Thanga. He's an incumbent chief minister. But whatever permanent, what should I say, assets that have been created in Mizoram have been created under the government of Congress.
One last thing, the BJP.
Name any permanent asset in Mizoram,
Yeah.
which is not done by the Congress government.
Right, sir. Also, one last thing that I want to ask you is that the BJP putting up 23 candidates, they're trying to push and make an entry. Now, how do you see this BJP's attempt in this election?
Well, their attempt, I don't know anything about it, but then BJP will not win a single seat in Mizoram.
And you're hopeful that your party will again retain power?
Yes, of course, under the new leadership. It's now my party is under the leadership of a new, younger leadership, so we have very good chance of winning and forming the next government again.
Yeah. So there you are, 5-time former Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Lal Thanhawla, clearly saying that he sees a chance of a revival of his party Congress. He has taken retirement from active politics and given the leadership to young leaders, and he feels that his party is going to revive in these elections, where his party is locked in a multi-corner fight with the ZPM and the MNF, the ruling party, and in some seats even the BJP.
Right, Ratnadeep, it's going to be very interesting to see how the dynamics really change with that multi-cornered contest. Very interesting, because we asked you to speak with voters, and the person you actually saw walking right behind you was none other than a 5-time Chief Minister himself. We'll continue to track the details of this story with you, Ratnadeep. Let's also very briefly play out for our viewers the report you sent us a short while ago.
Well, the problem in Myanmar, and then refugees and problem from Manipur and from Bangladesh. And here it will be a big plus factor for my party, the MNF, because these people, whether they are from Burma, from Manipur or from Bangladesh, they all have faith if the MNF form the government here in Aizawl. And therefore, in order to comfort them, in order to give them shelter, in order to give them food and shelter. So it needs MNF government here. That would be one of the biggest plus points in my coming election.
Sir, how positive you are, because all the opposition parties out here, ZPM, are also saying that they are also strong and they are going to form the government out here?
Well, I have a full confidence that we will be able to form the government with an absolute majority.
Sir, almost all political pundits have predicted that it's going to be a hung assembly this time. How do you see your party from henceforth? Like, will you go into a coalition if required from the government?
Well, it will not be a hung assembly. It will be a MNF government. I have a full confidence in that.
Will BJP there as an alliance partner?
BJP is not an alliance partner. NDA is there in the center. Here in the state, we don't have any alliance with BJP or any other party.
Post-alliance, any chances,
help from BJP? Would you approach BJP? Should you need the help from BJP?
So far, they have not approached us. We have not approached them. We are only a partner of the NDA in the center. Here in the state, we support the NDA even on issue based only.
And like I said, our team of reporters have fanned out across the key constituencies in both Mizoram and Chhattisgarh to bring us the very latest. In fact, those are pictures of the former Chief Minister, Raman Singh, offering prayers. He's, of course, the candidate from the BJP. But interestingly, the BJP hasn't projected him as the chief ministerial face this time around in the election, fighting the election under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. But my colleagues Sunil Prabhu and Anurag Dwari are at ground zero in Chhattisgarh, and they've sent us these reports.
I'm joined by Dr. Raman Singh, who's contesting here from Rajnandgaon, who's just finished praying. So what were your wishes and prayers today?
आज हमने भगवान से काली माँ के दरबार में आया, शीश झुकाया और काली माँ से प्रार्थना किया कि छत्तीसगढ़ में पूर्ण बहुमत की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बने और भारतीय जनता पार्टी आने वाले समय में सुशासन देगा और शांति और समृद्धि विकास की दिशा में आगे बढ़ेंगे।
सर, आपने पूरा कैंपेन किया पूरा छत्तीसगढ़ में और भी करेगा, आपका क्या मुद्दा है इस बार से लोग?
मुद्दा विकास का मुद्दा है, भूपेश बघेल का करप्शन का मुद्दा है, विकास को रोकने का मुद्दा है।
और इस बार are you sure that you will be able to get a better majority in Rajnandgaon?
100% राजनांदगांव ही नहीं, पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ में पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ सरकार बनेगी।
और आप लीड करेगा छत्तीसगढ़?
इस बार सर्वाधिक वोटों से राजनांदगांव में पिछले 3 चुनाव से ज्यादा वोट से जीतेंगे।
और एक आप मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा सर इस बार?
अब ये तय विधायक दल होगा।
क्या सर?
विधायक दल की बैठक में तय होगा।
So here you have it from Dr. Raman Singh, a very categorical statement in terms of the fact that what are the issues, and he is made it very clear that it will ultimately be the BJP MLAs who will decide who will be the chief minister. With camera person Kanal Patra, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
चुनाव के रंग हैं और छत्तीसगढ़ में दादा के साथ में उनकी मोपेड पे सवार हो गया हूँ बस्तर के इलाके में। दादा, आपका नाम क्या है?
चेतन सिंह ठाकुर।
चेतन सिंह ठाकुर, शंकर जी के मंदिर में है आप?
हाँ जी, चित्रकोट शिव मंदिर में हूँ।
अच्छा, तो ये बाल इतने सालों से क्यों बढ़ा है? कितने सालों से बढ़ा है? पहले तो
ये मेरा 30-35 साल हो गया।
30-35 साल से कभी कटवाया ही नहीं?
3 बार कटवाया ना। मेरा बाप पिताजी खत्म हुआ, माँ खत्म हो गई।
अच्छा।
उतना समय संस्कार किया था ना इलाहाबाद में।
अच्छा अच्छा।
गया था पूरा इलाहाबाद, पूरी गंगा गोया सब ही गया था उधर।
तो अभी परिवार में कितने लोग हैं आपके?
अभी हम 7 लोग हैं।
7 लोग हैं?
जी हाँ।
और यहाँ शंकर जी के मंदिर में आप काम करते हैं?
हाँ जी हाँ, मेरा 14 साल हुआ।
अच्छा।
घर से 14 साल वनवास निकल गया मैं।
बाल को आप नाग देवता कहते हैं?
हाँ जी हाँ। ये वैसी है ना, रंग रूप है, वेशभूषण है ना।
अच्छा।
हाँ।
तो इसको मेंटेन करने में दिक्कत नहीं होता है?
नहीं।
बाल को बांधने में?
नहीं, वो तो दिक्कत अपना शक्ति रहता है ना है उसके पास।
अच्छा, ये शक्ति है आपका?
हाँ।
क्या शक्ति है इसमें?
इसमें शक्ति है जाने का, रेंगने का, बोलने का, सबका सब देने का भी शक्ति है।
मतलब पूरी ताकत आपके इन बालों में?
हाँ, 3 बालों में।
तो हम लोगों को भी पूजा करनी चाहिए?
हाँ चाहिए ना, जब किस्मत वाले को मिलता है, जट नाल नहीं मिलता है बाबा जी।
अच्छा।
हाँ, साधु जो तपस्या करता है ना, 14 साल वनवास जाके तपस्या करता है ना, तब वो राम को मिलता है।
जी जी, सही कह रहे हैं आप। तो पर ये जो तपस्या राजनीतिक चल रही है, चुनाव चल रहा है, तो यहाँ आपके लिए क्या मुद्दा है? क्या सोच के वोट देंगे?
हम जमा वही सब साथ मिल के रहेंगे ना, साथ मिल के खाएंगे, साथ मिल के सब कार्यकर्ता करेंगे। यहाँ कुछ इधर उधर नहीं हो। जमा भक्त का रूप में, राम का रूप में, जब कंठ में राम है, इसका दुनिया में काम है।
अच्छा, तो यहाँ पे तो कांग्रेस बीजेपी दोनों राम जी का नाम ले रही है।
नहीं, दोनों बराबर ही है ना।
दोनों बराबर है।
वो दोनों बराबर हैं। किसको हीन करोगे? हीन किसी को नहीं करना चाहिए।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया बात आपने कही। और ये क्या कहते हैं, और क्या मुद्दा है यहाँ? सुरक्षा का, नक्सली है यहाँ, सड़क अच्छी नहीं है, ये सब मुद्दे हैं यहाँ पर। आपके लिए क्या मुद्दा है?
नहीं, वो तो बनेगा ना, धीरे धीरे बनेगा ना, बनेगा।
और बाकी शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, ये सब बढ़िया है, अस्पताल वगैरह
सब है ना,
सब है?
सब है।
चलिए,
सब बढ़िया है।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका। आपने
जब पहले रमन सिंह आया ना हमारे बस्तर में, उतना समय से पूरा शांति है।
अच्छा, शांति है?
जी हाँ।
चलिए, तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आपने हम लोगों को इतना वक्त दिया, इतना
गरीब को पूरा शांति कर दिया ना बाबा।
शांति कर दिया
जी।
हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो यहाँ हम बाबा आपसे इजाजत चाहेंगे और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
जी हाँ।
तो हमारे कैमरा सहयोगी बाबा, आप एकदम आप बोल सकते हैं, आपका पूरा नाम एनडीटीवी के लिए।
हाँ, मन और चैतन्य है, वही पूरा कर देगा ना।
मन और चैतन्य एनडीटीवी के लिए।
जी हाँ,
बोलिए ना, एनडीटीवी के लिए।
एनडीटीवी के लिए बोलेंगे।
मन और चैतन्य, मन और
चैतन्य दोनों बोलेगा। मन को पहचानेगा, मन को बोले, चैतन्य बोलेगा।
बहुत शुक्रिया। तो बाबा ने बहुत अच्छी बात की, मन को पहचानिए, चैतन्य को बोलिए, वोट दीजिए, मतदान का इस्तेमाल कीजिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद बाबा।
जय बाबा, खुशी।